It is Bruno Miranda. Bruno, obviously we haven't seen you in almost a year when we get to the fight, and now you have a huge moment. Just
I'm back. I'm back.
what are the feelings, man? I can imagine
Feeling
it's
great,
exciting.
man. Feeling great. Feeling great. Very happy with the opportunity. Feeling great. Couldn't feel better.
I'd like to go back because, like I said, we haven't seen you in about a year. When you look back on your run in the tournament, you go 1-1. You have an exciting fight with Patricky. What did you take away from the year?
I got a surgery after fight Patrick. Got a surgery on my right thumb. I had a broke bone and my ligaments from my thumb got like broke, so I had to repair. So this is what take me out for such a long time.
Can you talk to me? When did they call you to say, "Hey, we'd like you to be the guy to fight Paul Hughes in Ireland"?
I actually was waiting to see if I was on the tournament in beginning of the year, and then things changed, and then I got this opportunity to fight Paul. I think was by beginning of March, or I knew it. Like they got the offer, and they was like, okay, you might fight Paul. So I find out I was not in the tournament, which make me very happy, with the opportunity to fight Paul now.
I
So
did want
that's how
to.
I.
I did want to ask. I think a lot of fighters they like the idea of the tournament. They want to know that they're going to fight a lot during the year.
Yeah.
Did they talk to you about that? I imagine you're like anyone else. You want to fight as many times, make money, and provide for yourself. What did you think
True.
of that? Because now obviously you don't know which event they're going to put you on. You don't have a schedule like if you're in the tournament.
After I beat Paul, they need to put me to five, man. So all the focus on this right now, and I'm looking forward what is after that, after this win. So I'm sure they're gonna have something good for me after get all the hype that Paul has.
I think fans, if they didn't watch you last year, I'd like to ask you a few questions. First off, how were you introduced to MMA?
Um, I was a Muay Thai fighter. So was competing a lot in Muay Thai, and then I ended up changing the gym, which was only Muay Thai, and then I started training with Alexandre Barros. He was UFC fighter by the time, and he was like, "Man, I was 20 years old when I started training with him. He was like, "Man, you're very good Muay Thai. You can make like good career in MMA. Let's train in like let's go train Jiu-Jitsu." And then 2000, mid of 2010, I started training jiu-jitsu more to fight MMA because before I had experience with jiu-jitsu by 2007, 2008, I was training between Muay Thai, but I didn't like because I was already doing good in Muay Thai, so got it smashed in the ground. I was like, oh fuck that, man. I don't wanna do jiu-jitsu because I don't have intention to fight MMA, right? I was fanatic by the K1 in Japan. I don't know if you remember. Was a big, it's still on, but back in that time was like
It was at the
massive.
top. It was still the
Yeah, it
best
was
promotion.
the best. Yeah, the best promotion for kickboxing. So I used to love that. And then in 2010, I started training with them. Beginning of 2011, they're like, "Hey, bro, we got a fight for you in Europe." Was also a main event, like obviously small promotion in Luxembourg, and they're like, "Bro, have this guy. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but we believe you can beat him. You're gonna make some money." And I was like, "Wow, man, can make some money fighting this?" They're like, yeah, I'm like, "Okay, let's get it." So I trained for this fight like 2 months. I knocked the guy out, and everything started there. I was already fighting Muay Thai, and I saw my career change because in Brazil it was not big in that time. The only strike fights was just like UFC in the beginning, get very famous, MMA. And I saw some websites talking about me, and I was like, yeah, man, that's the thing I wanna do. I got some money, I travel. Now they talk about me, and everything started in 2011.
Were you always with your team in Thailand, Bang Tao, or how did you first get introduced to them?
I live in Phuket 11 years now. I've been more than 11 years. I got first to Tiger, which was like the Bangtao owners. They all got in the same crew to do the trial to get sponsor from Tiger, which was George Hickman. By the time Volkanovski, was a lot of guys. Peter Young was there in that time. Was many guys to get the sponsor to train there, you know. So I moved to Thailand, and then I was fighting South Korea, so it was close for me to get more often fights in MMA, you know. And also between that, Road FC in my contract, I fought for them for 5 years. They let me fight kickboxing and Muay Thai between that. So I was in Thailand, so I fought a lot of Muay Thai here. I fought a lot of kickboxing in China. So that was the reason that I stayed here, you know, get the high level train and compete in MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai.
Well, let's talk about this fight coming up. I think one thing that you have the advantage is that we just saw Paul Hughes long fight, 25 minutes. There's a lot of information. Did you see that fight with Usman? And obviously, did you feel like you learned a lot about how you're going to go into this fight with him?
Yeah, obviously, I watched live in the time. I was looking forward to this fight. Um, yeah, man, but I know like his style, but every fight is different, bro. Like I'm very different than AJ and Usman. You know, like it's different style. Which there he was like defending the takedowns, getting his strike on, and I am just different style. You know, I'm a striker mainly, and yeah, man. I think he gonna need to fight different with me. You know, so I'm ready for that. You know.
Another thing, you are going to Ireland. He is very popular in this moment. He's had a lot of noise, so obviously the crowd is going to be very excited to see him in his house.
100%.
Mentally, how are you preparing to handle the crowd being against you at that level?
Man, I'm used to that, you know. Like I am most of my MMA career I done international fights, you know, fighting in my opponent's house, like Korea, China. I mean America, I fought Americans in Europe. So I'm deal very good with that. I'm very, very excited because the Irish crowd loves a good fight like the Brazilians. So I'm very excited, you know. I see these like very good point, you know. Like I'm very excited with that. I don't see like a problem for me, like, oh, I'm gonna fight everyone. Yeah, he's Irish, of course, you know. But they're gonna love me after the fight.
I love it. Final question. I think any fans who watched the fight with Patricky know that this could be a very exciting fight. What is your message about what's going to happen when fans see you and Paul Hughes in the cage on May 10th?
I'm gonna fight to the last second to get this win. Doesn't matter how it's gonna come. Striking, submission, points. I'll put my soul in this fight, and I will show up with my best version.